Likutei Torah, Parshas Re'eh, page Chaf, first column is Gimel. Okay, now the Rabbi explained, in order to bring down this level of Kedusha internally, you need the Menasa Ladas. To bring down the level of Das, you have to do the Pasuk Achari. So now the Rabbi explained Telecho, and he explained Tiro. Now he goes to the next part, that's Mitzvah Tishmeidu. Hine, by mitzvahs, it says, that I commanded you today to be on your heart. In order to draw your heart to Hashem, Kamaim upon him, like the reflection of water, Shaydei mitzvahs through mitzvahs. Shem Ritzayni is Baruch, which are the will of Hashem. Asher Kidshanu b'mitzvahs, that Hashem sanctified us, that the person brings down this kedusha, this desire and will of Hashem to be here. So that is so just like Hashem comes down to us, so we are now are drawn to be close to Him, and that's what it says. Make Hashem's will your will, that He should make your will like His will. Sheyom shecharitzeni is barich. Sheina mitzvahs the matter. To bring down the Hashem's will down here into the physical world. So we bring down the will of Hashem, because that's the concept of doing mitzvahs, and that causes that we have this longing to Hashem. Okay, this is where we're up to. In Ner mitzvah, that's the concept of Ner mitzvah v'Torah. So a mitzvah is likened to a ner, to a candle. What's the concept of a candle? Hainu shem and a mitzvah. Shemin a mitzvah. Nimshach ner v'ara b'nefesh, through doing a mitzvah. By doing ner mitzvah means by doing a mitzvah you create a ner, you create a candle. What does that mean? That's the will and the desire and the love of the heart. You have to skip about 10 lines. So that's to bring down this will of Hashem within us. Achine mitzvahs, but the Torah says mitzvahsi tishmeiru. So simply it means keep the mitzvahs, but it means shmira means to guard. You have to guard, like it says, "Shmartem es hamatzos." You have to guard the matzah not to become chametz. So Chassidus explains over there also, matzahs is mitzvahs. But here it says mitzvahs tishmeiru, meaning dahainu aner shenimshach mihem. This ner that comes from them. Ke'inyan like Avram sheyatz mena Yishmael. Like the Gemara says, not like Avram that Yishmael came out of. Not like Yitzchak that Esav came out of, but Yaakov that mitasi shlema otzun v'tzadikim. That means like this: you can have a level of Avraham, a level of Ava, but Ava can create a yanika, a nourishment for evil. Avraham Avinu created a Yishmael, which is Chesed of Klipa. Yitzchak created an Esav, which is Gvur of Klipa. So he says, mitzvah tishmeiru, that this ner, this mitzvah, this ava that you create in the connection between the Jew and Hashem, you have to make sure it doesn't go, like it says, v'amer hazal. Like the Gemara says, aveda mechabe mitzvah, aveda extinguishes a mitzvah. What does that mean? Hainu shemechaber esaner, it extinguishes the fire, v'nishka eish ahava, and it calms down the fire of ahava. In other words, this, you do a mitzvah, you create a fiery ner, right? A light, a fire of love between the Jew and Hashem. But sometimes you can have something that extinguishes that fire. What is that? The Gemara says in Aveda. It only extinguishes not the, like he's going to explain now, it doesn't extinguish the body of the mitzvah. The mitzvah still remains. You know, you don't lose the mitzvah. Okay? You put on tefillin, you did a mitzvah, then later you do an avera. It doesn't extinguish, it doesn't get rid of the mitzvah you did. So what does it mean, avera mechabe mitzvah, the Rebbe says? It extinguishes the fiery connection with Hashem. But it doesn't, that, God forbid, it definitely doesn't extinguish the mitzvah itself. To say, it's not going to be on the mitzvah list anymore. Simply when you learn the Gemara, Aveda Mechaber Mitzvah means an Aveda extinguishes a mitzvah. The other Rebbe says it doesn't mean Chas v'Shalom, the mitzvah is not there anymore. The mitzvah still stays. What it means is, it extinguishes the fiery love that the mitzvah created. It cools it down. And he says, what's the proof that it doesn't extinguish the mitzvah itself? Because the Gemara says, half mitzvahs, half avedis, you go to Olam Haba. Now, if an aved extinguishes the actual mitzvah, then you don't have any mitzvahs. If you have 50 mitzvahs, 50 avedis, and avedis extinguishes a mitzvah, then you don't have any mitzvah. So how do you go to Gan Eden? What does it mean? They punish him, they cleanse him. For the avedis, and God forbid you don't lose the merit of the mitzvah. So what does it mean when the Gemara says Aveda Mechaber Mitzvah? It means it extinguishes the fire and the revelation that comes in the mitzvah in the nefesh, because now the Aveda dampened the relationship with you and Hashem. Like this, you have a tremendous, strong relationship with Hashem. Now, as the pasuk says, the Aveda separate the Jew from Hashem. So the bottom line is that an Aveda will extinguish the connection with Hashem, but not the mitzvah. And therefore, the pasuk says, "Mitzvasi tishmeidu." You have to guard the mitzvah. What do you mean, guard the mitzvah? That the love, the eish, the ned of the mitzvah should not become extinguished.
The passion.
The passion.
The passion.
Yeah. And how is that? Through v'keilus tishmo. Again, the pasuk continues from Seisi tishmeru u'v'keilus tishmo. It's the next stage in the pasuk. He says, what does that mean? V'keilus tishmo is kol ateda, because the Gemara says Aveda Mechaber Mitzvah v'eina Mechaber Teda. The Gemara says in Seita, and Aveda extinguishes a mitzvah, but it doesn't extinguish Teda. Therefore, the Gemara says, the pasuk is saying now, the Rebbe says, how do you guard the mitzvah that the Aveda shouldn't impact the mitzvah to lose the oomph of the mitzvah? That's by learning Teda. Why? So he says, even though a mitzvah is the will of Hashem, but nevertheless the problem with the mitzvah is it comes into a physical, mundane, evil world that could impact the mitzvah. Then the mitzvah comes into the, nefesh. Mitzvahs are only in the neshama in the body. And it comes into a limited vessel. And then you have the opposite of this. Just like the mitzvah is doing the will of Hashem, so now you're going against the will of Hashem. In other words, the mitzvah disconnects, now the Aveda disconnects. So it undoes what the mitzvah does. So now Aveda could be mechaber the mitzvah. Therefore, an Aveda can extinguish the revelation of the mitzvah, because again, what's the concept of a mitzvah? The relationship, the binding between Hashem and the Jew. Now you do an Aveda, so you're disconnecting. But Torah is 2,000 levels. Torah comes in the level of Chochmah. He me'idas ner mitzvah, that shines and gives light to the ner of the mitzvah. Like it says, ner mitzvah v'Torah or. A mitzvah is only a candle. Torah is light. Shatayr hi or. Lahaner shala mitzvah, Torah is the or. And that's why, because Torah is higher than world, Torah can never be makabel tumah. Torah is above any realm of tumah. Somebody in his tummy could learn Torah, touch Torah. It doesn't matter. Why? Because mitzvahs come into the Gashmistic world, which was created with mitzvahs. With the 7 spheres, the 7 midas. Torah is mechachma nafkes, alpayim shana kadma Torah le'elam, which means, as this explains, 2,000 levels, because before the world was created there was no time. So the Gemara says, alpayim shana kadma Torah le'elam, the world was 2,000 years before the world. It can't mean years, time, because there was no time before world. What it means is 2,000 levels. Aleph chachma, aleph bina, chachma and bina. So therefore, Torah is higher than world. So therefore, Torah cannot affect world in any way whatsoever. And that's why the Rebbe always used to quote in the Yerushalmi that says, "Lokel Greimer Alai," that Pashit Torah controls the physical world. And the halacha in Yerushalmi is, the din is that a girl under 3, if somebody has intimacy with a girl under 3, the Gemara says the expression, her virginity comes back. Over 3, the virginity doesn't come back. So what happens, the Gemara says, the Yerushalmi says, that the girl is about to turn 3, and then Bezdin made a leap year, so now there's an extra month. So, even though according to nature she turned 3, and therefore the virginity shouldn't come back, nevertheless, Torah says, that Hashem controls the world, that physical world is controlled by Torah. Why? Because Torah is higher than the world.
Rabbi, can't you say that Hashem has an eternal clock? He didn't need the world for years, so it could be years before the world. Eternal years. Hashem didn't need the sun.
What do you mean years?
Whatever a year is.
But year is time. Whatever a year is time.
So Hashem had time beforehand.
There was Seder Zmanim, it says, but there's no actual Zman. Even Ruchniistic Zman is still limited in Ruchniistic Mokum. Time is only how long something exists. If there's nothing existing, you can't have how long it exists. It didn't exist. And the higher world is called, in Bria, there's what's called Seder Zmanim. But that's not, it's still the source of time.
Exists here on earth?
What?
Exists on earth?
What?
You said time is something that exists.
Yeah, but Ruchniistic time also. But it means differently. The Rambam says, and he'll say that Torah, when you say the Malachim, Srafim Emdim Mimaloi, the Srafim are on top of the Ifanim. They stand higher. Now, obviously, in the world of Bria, where those Malachim are, yeah, it's not that there's a higher ladder, and he's on the ladder and he's in the floor. Because there's no Gashmistic Mokum there. Right? So when you say he's higher, higher means a more spiritual level, a greater understanding of godliness is called higher. A lesser understanding of godliness is called lower. But it's not the physical higher and lower that we have. It's a whole different, like the Rebbe says in Tanya. If somebody says about Seichel, I can't tap the foot with the physical hand. Somebody say, I don't get it. Right? An intellectual concept. But you can't touch it with your hands. If somebody says, yeah, I can't hold it in my hand, they'll laugh at you. When you say, we learned many times, when you say a pit is deep, an ocean is deep, you measure it by feet, by miles, by whatever, right? When you say somebody has a deep head, it doesn't mean his head is 10 feet deep. And if you have a deeper head, you're 20 feet deep. Or somebody says they have a big heart, right? A generous heart, a big heart. It doesn't mean the heart is big. God forbid you have a big heart, you die. So it's a different language. It's a different language of time and place than we have down here. Even down here we have these different expressions. A deep ocean is measured by miles. A deep head is not measured by feet and yards. It's a different measurement with the same words.
Hashem Hashem created Rishit Bara. Hashem created. That we call that zero. And then a second after. And then a year after.
No.
Could he have created a second before and a year before?
Could he have?
Could he have?
Yeah, I think it's good.
Can neighbors to make a square circle?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Not that he can't do it. Such a thing doesn't exist. When you say Hashem is Kol Yochel, I mean, there isn't anything he can't do. Hashem can do anything. But a square circle can't exist because if it's square, it's not a circle. A square is not a square. So you can't say Hashem is lacking because he can't make a square circle. Or the other question they ask, can Hashem create a stone he can't pick up? Or the third one that they ask, can God create another God? The answer is, by definition, a God can't be created. It's not that Hashem can't do it. Such a thing can't exist.
It's there, Rabbi.
What?
It's there. They take pictures, it's there.
What do you mean it's there?
Before
We can't picture. Them also, we have no comprehension what does it mean above time and place.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
So he could have created it.
He created the source of time,
Yes.
not time.
I don't know.
The level of Elokus, of world that eventually will create what's called Seder Zmanim.
So you need to have world to have time. There's no way to have time without world.
You can have a spiritual world with spiritual time.
There you go.
Yeah, but over there, before and after doesn't mean time in years. Before and after means higher and lower.
But this time is from Shemesh, from sun.
What time?
The time that we
No,
have.
time.
The
Years.
day tomorrow.
No.
This is from Shemesh.
What do you mean from Shemesh?
From the sun. One day, 24 hours. You know.
It's not from the sun. It's the thing Hashem created within the sun, that the sun goes around every 24 hours. No? It's not the sun creating time.
No, of course.
The sun, what do you mean time is the sun? It comes from the sun. It doesn't come from the sun.
The time is based on this.
Based on the sun.
And the Eibishter made the time of the solar calendar on the sun. And the lunar calendar's time, Hashem based on the moon.
Yeah.
No. The sun and the moon don't create time.
Of course not.
But that's what you're saying.
Based on the sun. Meaning that outside of the sun galaxy, there could be another time that the Eibishter created.
No. When people want to say, there are many people that want to answer evolution by saying that the 6 days of creation weren't 24-hour days. Now let's say maybe the first day of creation was 1,000,000 years. Second day of creation was 1,000,000 years. So therefore the world could be millions of years old and it's not a stira to Torah. And the Rebbe refutes that, and the Rebbe says the word day at the end of Chumash is the same yom as beginning of Chumash. And if the beginning at the end of Chumash, it means day, 24 hours. So the word yom at the beginning of Chumash also means 24 hours.
On earth.
Yeah. But in Atzilus, there's also a concept, well, not Atzilus, let's say in Bria. In Bria, it's a spiritual world, but there's a concept of spiritual time. What does time before and after mean? Higher and lower. Right?
Even the Shabbos too big are guided by that, like your sites and things, you know.
Yeah, that time of the earth is guided by the moon. Lunar calendar, not the solar calendar. Okay, skip the parentheses, second column. You have fifth line at the end. Why is Torah above that? Because the source of Torah and the origin is Agber Lamaila, Mikeda V'Sharsha Dekula. It's infinitely greater than the source of everything in the world. Mebchinis Yud Gimel Midas Rachmim. It comes from the Yud Gimel Midas Rachmim that come down in the month of Elul, Kihu Azman Ve'eis Rotin Lamaila. Okay? So in Elul, you have the revelation Yud Gimel Midas Rachmim by the Melech Basada. But B'chol Shana Mamshich and Yud Gimel Midas Rachmim, how do we reveal the 13 attributes of mercy, meaning a level of Elokus, which is infinitely greater than the world? That's through Torah. Because Marker Torah, because the source of Torah, which is Tayag Mitzvahs, Deraisa, the Zayim Mitzvahs, the Rabbanim, 613 biblical, 7 rabbinic, equals Tarach, Tofresh Chof, or Keser, and Tarach Amudei which is the 620 pillars of revelation, Mikeda Sarachim Aslichas, from the Yud Gimel Midas Rachmim. So Torah, which is 620, so it's also Keser Torah, some there's Tarach Amudei because it says in Kabbalah there's 620 columns of or that comes down through Torah. That's the Yud Gimel Midas Rachmim. And therefore he says, Ein Aveda Mechaber Torah. Mitzvahs that come into a physical world. So then an Aveda, which is it has issues in the physical world, so then it affects the mitzvah. But Torah is higher than what Yud Gimel Midas Rachmim. Right? Torah is Tako Be'eraisa Bara Alma, so Torah is higher than the world. So therefore, an Aveda, which is done in the world, can't affect the Torah, which is higher than the world. And that's why Torah can never become a Kabul Tumah.
You could choke the passion, right?
What?
You could stop the passion of the mitzvah.
What can stop?
Passion to do a mitzvah.
That's what an Aveda could do, but not Torah.
Yeah, sure.
Rabbi, we don't announce Shabbos working this evening.
I did about 10